involved with technology. So for those of us who are old enough in this room to remember the dot-com boom, the evolution of technology to become consumer-facing, followed by the real embracing by consumers of smartphone technology, had a lot to raise people's awareness. But anyone who is involved in technology has, for many, many years, been dealing with security, right? You want to keep people out of the stuff they're not supposed to be in. So this isn't new, really. It should not be new to anyone. It is, however, in vogue right now to speak about it. But 15 years ago, you know, folks like us were the Chicken Littles of the world saying the sky's falling. We better do something about some of this and take ownership of the fact that we have care, custody, and control of other people's stuff, right? If you drop your suit at the dry cleaner, you expect to get it back. If somebody gives us all their personal identifiable information, they expect us to care for it. So Department of Homeland Security, the US government, came up with 16 areas that they refer to as critical infrastructure. And most folks don't recognize that things like agriculture is on the list, as well as transportation and energy, but so is financial services, which includes all of us. So the way the federal government looks at it, we have had a responsibility. It's not a new one. We've had a responsibility as part of the critical infrastructure of the United States to protect our customers. So when we speak with clients and they say, do I need cyber liability coverage? Now to fast forward to today, we ask them this question: do you have customers? You say, yes. Well, then that qualifies you. That's one part. The second part is, are you part of the critical infrastructure? If you're a part of those 16 areas, then you have not only just a moral obligation, but you have a federal obligation to protect and keep whole your responsibilities to the country. And the country has regulations that have teeth. Unlike a lot of foreign countries, the United States actually has teeth, fines, penalties in regards to this. That shouldn't be the reason why people do the right thing. They should do the right thing because they're supposed to do the right thing. But it's nice to have a little teeth behind it.
Keith, I want to ask a question. How are we supposed to talk to small business owners and tell them to protect their business when the U.S. government can't even keep their things under control, with the Office of Personnel Management being hacked, and there's been a number of states, South Carolina being hacked, Florida's been hacked. So how are we supposed to, how is the government leading from example? How can they levy fines on us when, they have 20 million records of U.S. Department of Defense members? Anyone who's ever served in the military in 20 years has not just their social security number, but things like what kind of medications do you have, what kind of, who do you know, what kind of connections do you have, things that are much more personal and vulnerable.
I love to say that because even the largest organizations that are supposed to know the most about protection can be breached or hacked at some level, then that should say to you, Mr. Customer, that unless you have a big bucket of cash in the bank to protect yourself post-breach, you need some sort of risk transfer mechanism. So $1 million is going to cost you $1 million in the bank, or you can buy $1 million for X. Transfer the risk, because that will put you out of business unless you've got a big fat bank account. We're not just talking about anymore things like notifying your clients, your customers. We're talking about the moral responsibility. Take a small 1, 2, 3-man accounting shop. The guy opens up a PDF by mistake. He ends up with some sort of crypto locker script, and now his entire hard drive is encrypted. But for only 1,500 Bitcoin, somebody will be more than happy to send him the code to unlock it. Sound familiar to anybody? Let me ask you a question. Did that accountant just notify his 500 customers whose tax returns are on the system? Should he have? It's a moral obligation, man. He absolutely should have, or she. But that's not happening today because those people don't have insurance coverage in place. They don't even have 1-800-HELP-ME phone number that would be the right IT person to call that would help them get out of the problem. That's our job. And we have a responsibility to our clients to let them know that. A yes is okay and a no is okay, but a maybe is out of the question.